Why wouldn't I think you're just a groupie of the Walker administration?
I think you haven't heard what I said earlier. I take Republicans and Democrats to task. I have in the past, and I will do so with Walker as well, to represent your interest in this county. And you'll see, maybe you haven't seen, but I've been endorsed by the most liberal paper in the state, the Cap Times, because they think I'm an independent, conservative, but represent the interest of the taxpayer as a whole. And I plan to do that as well. Thank you.
My question is for Tom. You said that you thought that the system was working so well. Can you explain why we have such a deficit at the state level?
My comments were directed toward the county. The question was about the county finances.
You brought it up, sir. You brought it up.
The question was about the state finances. What I was talking about in terms of things running well was at the county level. Talking about how we have a AAA bond rating, we have one of the lowest spending rates of any county in the state. We're under the levy limit.
My question is still the same. Why do we have such a big deficit if everything that you did at the state worked so well?
If you look at where the deficit was back in 2001, after the Republican administration, it was at about $3.3 or $3.4 billion. After at the beginning of this year, it's about $3.6 billion. Now, in between that, and this is very important, what was significant between those 2 points is this state went through the biggest economic downturn that we've experienced since the Great Depression. And right now, Wisconsin is not the only one that has a structural deficit. Virtually every other state in the country has a deficit. So what does that tell you? It tells you that it's a national problem. It's not just a Wisconsin problem. I think what we have to look at is what we are going to do, not just in the next 2 years, the next 4 years, the next 10 years, though, is to look at what we can do here at the county to continue doing a good job. We've been doing a great job for many, many years. But part of that equation has been the maintaining of that relationship, that partnership, the promise that the state made to us back in the early 1970s when it said we are going to take away some of your revenue tools, and in place of that, we're going to give you shared revenue. We are going to return your state income tax dollars back to your community. So you're not going to have to raise taxes. You're not going to have to raise the state sales tax. What we have to do is we have to make sure that those type of systems that have worked well continue to work well.
If they work so well, Mr. Nelson, in your 6 years there, you increased state spending by 25% and increased the state debt by 34%. And I'm going to ask you this. If it went so well, I also criticized Scott McCallum for taking the medical settlement money and cashing it in. We could have done this tough duty at that time in the year 2000, and we'll have $300 million a year as a rainy day fund. We don't have that. It was a 25-year plan that's been washed away. But the point was, we got also over $2.2 billion from Obama a couple of years ago. And what happened? We took a lot of that money and plugged it into programs at the state or back to the local level, but we didn't find ways to cut spending. That's the reason why we have the problem of $3.6 billion structural deficit today.